Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Heather and this is Create Your Own Cozy. This week I am getting back to upcycling thrifted items that I have in my stash to either use in my home or resell in my booth. I am going to be using the colors Farm Fresh and White Swan from DIY Paint, along with all these items that I'm going to share with you right here, just to kind of give you a preview of what I'm using today, along with some IOD products that I either just bought in the spring release or am trying to use up something that I've had for quite a while now. If you want to see how I upcycle these projects, stick around. Our first project this week is going to be this cash box that I got for $1 at a church garage sale. And I thought I would just update the outside, leave the inside as is. I'm using the color Farm Fresh from DIY, which is a clay-based paint, and I'm going to do the first coat. Know it looks a little rough. Let it dry thoroughly and then go back and do a second coat, and you will see in the video that the second coat covers so well. Now, because DIY is a water soluble, able to be wet distressed with water paint, you do need to do a top coat, and for this project I'm using DIY's Big Top as the top coat. You could also use like a polyacrylic as well, and just get this on here and let this dry all the way before I start adding a transfer to this. You will see I go through a couple of options with the top of this piece. I do end up going over it with a stamp first, just so it has a background texture. And let me know, what do you guys think of the final results? So I got the idea for the second project when I was making that first project. I looked at my new birds and bees transfer and really liked the idea of stamping this bird on some old music paper or an old book page. And when I put it on top of the cash box, I really loved how it looked, but I didn't like it for the cash box. So I went ahead and created it using a found piece of wood that I just painted the same way as the first project, did the kindest regards over it, and then added the gorgeous bird. I also found some little stamps that I had bought online. I know that Hobby Lobby has some of these little letter stamps on clearance right now, but I stamped out the word soar. I thought it fit this bird perfectly, and I'm pretty happy with the results. This next item I found at a thrift store recently, and I wanted it for my own space down in my studio. It came already kind of half painted like this. It was $9, but guys, there's 5 solid pegs. This is a very substantial piece. So I painted it 2 coats with Farm Fresh, so it goes with my hutch down in my basement. And then now I'm just using a super wet rag and going through and wet distressing. The great part about wet distressing is you can kind of erase some of the brush strokes if you want to with the wet distressing, and then it also will allow you to bring it back to the wood or the color underneath. And I am very happy with how this looks, especially since it's going to be going up against my nice new white shiplap wall. So I decided to use clear wax on this one. I just did a solid coat of clear wax, and you can see how it kind of makes the color very rich, and it is going to eventually dry somewhere in between those 2 colors right there. And it can look a little blotchy at first because it is a clay. It doesn't always grab everything the same way, but it will eventually even out and be a nice, beautiful color. So I did kind of slightly buff this after the next day to kind of get that waxy surface a little bit harder, and there it gives it a little bit of a sheen. But I am super happy with how this looks on my beautiful shiplap wall. I am looking for just a nice little thin console table to go on the wall for staging and stuff down in my studio, but I am so happy with how it looks. This next one is going to be an easy one. These 2 pictures I used to have up in my home a long time ago, guys. I'm pretty sure I moved them from storage area to storage area the last time we moved. But I thought with these beautiful yellow and purpley flowers that Farm Fresh would be gorgeous on this frame. So it's real quick. I did 2 coats of Farm Fresh. I used a straight edge I didn't have to be super careful around the glass. I used a straight edge to get all of the paint off the glass, and then I went over it with white wax, cleaned the glass, and all the wax and paint came off. I was really happy with how easy that happened. Normally when you use a paint with a top coat already built in, you have to be really careful with the glass, but again, water soluble, it came right off and made this a very quick flip. What do you think? Do you think the Farm Fresh pulled out the colors of the pictures? Project number 5 is my favorite this week, and it is going to be hard for it not to be your favorite. I had this old utensil silverware box, I guess. I did not pay for $2 for it. It was given to me. This stuff was so old and dried out, and I had a vision for this piece, and this is one of those things. There were so many things to solve that it did take a lot of labor to get this guy to its final spot. You can see, man, if I could count the amount of times that lid closed on my hand, guys. Anyway, you can see that it was in rough shape. The inside, the bottoms were made out of cardboard and attached to this felt, and the felt was in such rough shape. There was no vacuuming that to get it out and look good again. It was very furry. So I just had to rip out the felt, and when I did that, it made it not have bottoms. So it was a lot of cleanup. It was some scraping, getting some water involved, getting a sanding. I used my orbital sander on here to try to get all this stuff off. Then I went and found some scrap wood that I had and cut it with my little handheld circular saw. There's the scrap wood. Those are the cardboard bases that I used to size it out, and you can see it's a nice thin wood right here, and it is stainable. So I decided to leave it just its natural color, and I'm trying to use up the rest of the polyurethane that I had in my stash. So I did a coat of that over the wood. Then I had a foot that was missing, and none of my pieces of just extra wood they were all too thick. So 2 of these little pieces together was the right thickness to make a wood. So I just traced it out, clamped it to my table, and used a jigsaw to cut the shape of the little foot that goes on the bottom times 2. 2 of these was that was the perfect thickness. And then I just used wood glue to glue on the foot, let that sit overnight, and then got back to this project the next morning. While I was sanding out the inside, one of the little pieces came off the side. I just put some wood glue in there, clamped that part up. Then also there's a big crack around the top of this thing, and glued that up and let that dry as well. That, I believe, is all the prep work that was required before the painting could even get started on this one. As you can see, a lot of labor, but it did turn into a labor of love. This project was my therapy this week. Just kidding, I almost forgot. I had a salvation solution step that I needed to do when I was sanding this. This piece bled a lot. There was a lot of color from the woods coming out. So I went over the entire thing, including the inside that I never finished, with this salvation solution, and it helped keep all of this color of the wood inside. And that would be all the prep work before painting on this fun project. Now it's time to get out the paint. 2 coats of white Swan covered this really, really well. This obviously is a very old piece that needed a lot of TLC, so we are going distressed here today. I know you guys are super surprised, but I just figured it fit this piece really well. So 2 coats of white Swan. One of the things that I really do want to show you is when you are doing lines or spaces that you are not, you're keeping some of it natural. Why can't I get my words out today? When you're keeping some of it natural, the great part about this being water soluble, you can just wet distress the paint off of the natural spots that you wanted to put it on, and you can see that it makes a nice, beautiful, clean line for you. And then you can go over it with Big Top and get everything sealed in there to be ready for the next pretty steps of this project. After Big Top dried thoroughly, I did the last of the IOD transfer book that I had called Floral Anthology. Guys, I used pretty much every last piece of this one. I think I'm going to go buy this book again because I have been using it throughout the year and I did not find a group that I did not like. I went ahead and put this transfer on the top and then a little piece on the front drawer. After getting that done, I'm like, well, we need something fun and interesting on the inside. So I did use liquid patina, did some gluing down of old book pages, stamped a word, and I'm just going to let you watch me do this. Guys, I am really happy with how this turned out. Now I'm thinking I need to do something fun to the bottom of the drawer and the wood that I put in here. I don't know. I did not do anything for this video, but let me know in the comments below if you have any more suggestions for the wood that's in the bottom of this and the drawer. Maybe just these same pages so that it all goes together. Maybe there's a fun decoupage paper that I can put down. I do happen to have another one of these boxes waiting to be upcycled. So I am now hooked, and I hope you are too, and I hope you enjoy. So there were some fun projects in today's video. Did you guys have a standout favorite? Obviously, mine is the box. And for the sake of the video, I did go ahead and complete this project. However, I think I'm going to keep moving forward with the inside and make it feel just as special as the outside. When my middle one opened up and she saw that create, she went, so like, I love that sense of wonder and excitement, and I think it'd be perfect for like an artist supply box, or even if someone is a writer to put their writing tools and supplies in there. Just has that sense of wonder when you open it up. So I'm gonna keep on going with that. If you guys have suggestions on how I should finish the wood, both on the drawer and that top shelf, let me know in the comments below. I am excited to keep working on that. Like I said in the video, it was truly therapeutic. I guess I was just in the mood to create this week, and the hardest part, honestly, was stopping and taking the videos of it because I wanted to keep going and just kind of be in that creative mode. Anyway, let me know what your favorite project was. If you are not already subscribed here, would you consider subscribing to my channel, hitting that notification bell to all so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. And if you like this video, just hit the thumbs up button. That helps YouTube know that you enjoyed it, my content, and would love to share it with other people. Also, feel free to share it with your friends. Guys, thank you so much for being with me this week. I am heading out of town this weekend for another girls' weekend to the mountain real quick. I need it. This time change has kicked this mama's booty. I do not like waking up early, and I do not like waking up even an hour earlier than I had been. So I am looking forward to just a little tiny bit of rest and coming back to next week ready to DIY again. What do you guys have planned this weekend? I would love to know in the comments below, and don't forget to go over and follow me on Facebook, where my intent is to update you with posts and reels daily throughout my life. That is Create Your Own Cozy over on Facebook. And guys, I will see you next week. Bye.